Hey everybody, Adam Savage in the cave with some spaceship goodness because Barry from Factory Entertainment is here.
How you doing?
How are you, my friend?
I am great.
Dude!
Yeah.
We saw an early prototype of
A
this.
little bit bigger than this one, though, right? Just a tiny bit.
This is the Voyager.
Yeah.
And am I right? This was built by my friend John Eblin?
Yes, John built this one. Yep. John builds the majority of our Star Trek ships. It's another beauty.
When you go to visit him for the meetings, is he like pinching himself all the time? Not that I think this is anything but a really difficult build, but it's beautiful.
The hardest bit is picking the ships. We say to him, what next? And he's like, I don't know, what do you want? I can make anything, there's how many? And then we all sit there going, well, I like that one, and I like that one. And then so that's the most complicated bit. And so we picked this one because this year is an anniversary year for Voyager. We're getting a lot more interest. It's weird to be talking about Voyager as a historic thing because it seems like it was
so
yesterday,
fresh.
right?
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
and I can't. I'm like, wait, anniversary? What, the fourth or the fifth? No, double digits.
Yeah.
And it just seems weird. So that's why Voyager, and because she is a beautiful and somewhat unique ship. You know, from a stylistic point of view, this was the first time we saw it was all not so much nacelle. She's more girthy. Is that the right word?
She's a muscular fist of a ship.
Yes, yeah.
Right, and I love the way it harkens to the Star Trek ship construction and jumps way far afield of it at the same time.
When you sit with the physical model as well, to me, this one screams battleship. This one looks like it could be real. The others definitely all seem far more futuristic, but this one, the more you stare at it, you know, from any angle, this could be a quarter view of a modern destroyer or cruiser.
It's got sort of like a fire plug kind of aesthetic about it, right?
Yeah.
Like a brawler.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about the development, how you guys go about achieving this, because to be able to produce these, to be able to go into production on these is about a list of 1 million items long?
Yes and no. I mean, using professional model makers like John, these are part of our Masterworks line. So we build these one at a time. Okay. So they're done to order. We make one, this is it. We then put it out there to everybody and say, hey, do you love it? Order it, and then it's built to order. So, so they're more like a commissioned artwork piece. It helps when there are models that have been built before where some molds exist. Right. So this one didn't have that. They had to be produced and made, so now they exist. So that will simplify the process to some extent. But because they're commissioned, each one is somewhat unique, which from a boring kind of licensing, but this is easier because you don't have to deal with, oh, how do I make 75 little things? You know, how do we make the nacelles work?
Oh, dude, no way they actually move.
One at a time is much easier than engineering it out.
Right.
So you don't have to have those economies of scale, which is helpful. But that's the process. And as I said, the beginning part is picking which ship, because who are we to know what everybody, I mean, we'd love to make all of them eventually, but these are a labor of love. They take time, and we can't have 50 ships in the line. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be practical.
Well, there's something really interesting happening here, because I was holding my phone up to this earlier, and it's such a camera-ready paint job. And in person, like, we've seen a lot of original ship models up close and personal. Yeah. And one of the things that I think a lot of civilians find surprising when they see a ship model up close is how hand-built it looks. Oh, yeah. How hand-built it clearly is. Yeah. And this, too, has a very hand-built feel to it, which to me makes it feel like one of the more authentic ship models I've seen.
It gives them that, I don't know, when they're on camera, that you can tell the hand-built from the too clean. Yeah. You know, this isn't the lived-in universe look that we have in other franchises, but it does have that, I don't know, if you have too much of that uncanny valley where it's too perfect, too clean.
This is the thing. Star Trek is a clean, utopic vision of the future, but you still have to have dirt just so you can see the models. Yes. The dirt allows you to break up the topography and understand its structure.
Well, and some practicality, the painting is the hardest part. You know, with 3D printing now, and this isn't 3D printed, we do try and avoid 3D printing because for long-term use, we have to ship these to people. They come in a crate.
You want these to be archival.
Yeah, and they need to last. But anyone with a 3D printer can print a fantastic model. Painting it is hard, and when people tell you there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 25 masks, they think, But until you actually go and do 2 paint masks and you have to wait 24 hours between each one, and then you think, oh my God. And that's where I guess the devil is in the details when you spend the time on that kind of detail. And just silly things like the lettering and everything's hand done.
No, I remember at ILM working with the paint department to deliver them Star Trek appropriate friskets for the painting, for the layout.
There's a look to it.
It's very
there's
specific.
a magic to it, I'd say. And that's one of the things with this whole project with these Masterworks models is the physical model art. We lost it for a long, long time, and it almost died. Weirdly, I've heard tell now that several studios are actually going back to it because there's no substitute for me. We had to go, oh yeah, wait, and if we're filming here and then we need to be here, how long does it take to get from here? You can't judge that on a 3D model or a previs. I mean, you can, but it's just not the same as being able to go, you know?
I've also heard this from the industry in that some directors keep asking when they're looking at a CG rendering of it, is the lighting right? Is the lighting right? And the answer is, if you have a model and you've lit it, no one asks that question.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right? Oh, will it reflect that way?
But how do you test that?
There's one aspect of this that happens on set, and this happens on set every single day when you're shooting a motion control model, is that the director of photography will line up a shot and he'll look at it and he'll be like, all right, hey man, over here, that looks a little bland. Can you just differentiate that?
Yep.
And then you might come in with an airbrush and do a flick, or frequently pencil.
Yeah.
I've done a ton of on-set penciling to the actual camera.
And then you look at it in person and it looks weird, but on camera,
you got that. And I've got even erased pencil shots for pencil lines for subsequent shots.
On the original, we did years ago, we did a TOS Enterprise, and all the lines on that were drawn by pencil, and you can't achieve them anywhere. And any other way of doing it doesn't look right. When you die line them, they just looked either too good or too straight. And yeah, there's some little tricks of the trade, and that's part of what Masterworks is all about. Is trying to bring back, these are not for everybody. They're commission pieces. They are a serious investment, but they're an investment in what we like to think will be. Think of it like a painting or a statue or a sculpture. There are going to be a finite number of these out there in the universe, and usually outside of the studio system or a prop auction years later, they just don't exist. Exactly.
Will you walk me through the main features of the Voyager here?
Yeah, so we've already done the nacelle thing. We've got the little launch bay in the back here with a little Delta Flyer that we can fly. And if you
such an extreme degree, I'm seeing the control room with the red light.
Yep. It's one of John's. I think he was one of the first people, because I don't believe that any of the filming miniatures actually had that. It wasn't necessary, but you do need it when you've got it, and you've got to sit there and look at it.
There was this really fun moment on episode 1. I was working on Newton Rune's shuttle, and it has an interior loading bay. And Doug Chang, we'd been working together at that point for a couple months, and he was like, "All right, I need the interior of that. Just do what you want. Just do whatever you want." I was like, yay!
And what did you do?
Oh, I had a lot of fun. I did open frame walls so I could wiring back behind it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't it great when you just do what you want? How many times does that happen?
A couple here and there,
Rare.
It's always very okay. So sorry, you've detailed the shuttle bay incredibly.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
You got the forefront. We do have some light and sound function. You probably have to see it from this side. We've got the.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude.
And we do have the little captain's.
Oh, dude.
And you can go ahead and stick it in the. It magnetically attaches. There you go. And then.
It is such a. I always thought this reminded me of the Nostromo.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Of the Narcissus in the
It's
Nostromo.
very, comparatively, they don't match. But I think because they were trying to go for the basis of the shuttle, which is this part, and then, Captain's yacht needs to be better than a basic shuttle, doesn't it? And these aren't to play with, but you do need to add some fun.
Totally. Well, you're building a narrative for people to show off their beautiful toy.
Well, it's going to be a centerpiece of someone's collection. It's going to sit there for decades, and it has to do something, because every now and again you want to play with it.
The engine nacelle lighting is particularly gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, LEDs are a godsend. I mean, traditionally before that, you had to worry about the models physically
cool
catching
and how
fire.
long it would last.
Yeah,
Totally.
you couldn't leave them on for more than a certain amount of time.
But even more
apparently.
than that, they don't feel like LED lights. They feel like I'm looking at something that's really glowing with the power that it has.
John spent a lot of time trying to work on this and get them diffused enough. That's the hardest part, is hiding
Yes.
some of the LEDs,
man.
and then learning how they look, because some people will keep it lit, but it won't be lit all the time. So they've also got to look good unlit, and it's amazing how much of a difference it makes.
It's massive.
And there's only one way to find, like you mentioned about the DOP, and the only way to do it is physically try it, move the lights, fiddle with them. And you see this. I mean, you've been to, you went to Wonderfest recently. Do you see the model makers there experimenting with things? And isn't it amazing that we have access to all of this electric stuff that used to be
We're also doing with incandescent bulbs and grain of wheats
and then wondering what the load was like and if the whole thing was going to go poof and disappear in a puff of smoke.
Right, and this would have been done with either fiber optics or you'd cast it in a clear resonance scrape out your windows.
Yep. Who wants that job?
Nobody wants that job. This is not the only. Oh my God, green and red for
you got the little.
right.
Yep.
Wow. This is not the only ship you have brought for us today.
No, we have another one from a different universe.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Totally different.
Well, we're going to do a bit of a camera reset, and then when we come back, we'll be talking more spaceship goodness.
Spaceship goodness.
Dude. Okay, it's the ET mothership. This is one of my favorite spaceships in cinema. It is up there to me with the Close Encounters ship.
Yeah.
The two of those, and it's probably because, I saw those movies in the theater when they came out, and both of those ship reveals are such emotionally resonant parts of each film. Yeah. Each means there's it expands the universe in both cases.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about this. Oh my gosh.
Well, the ship, which doesn't have a name, actually. We don't, some people refer to it as Home One. So I see it on blueprints just referred to as ET Spaceship, ET Mothership. I like to think of it as, if theoretically, it's the ET family car. Because they came on a trip to Earth and they left their kid behind. So this is like a station wagon as far as ET is concerned.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I had the same resonance with you, because also that one and the Encounter ship were so unique. Mm-hmm. It has homages and throwbacks to sort of, Republic serials and stuff, but there was nothing else like it.
There was Starman. Starman had the spherical matte painting.
Yes.
That beautiful spherical matte painting. I will tell you, so the reboot for ET, which we called Boy's Life internally at ILM, happened while I was there. And one afternoon, they had made an entirely new animatronic ET puppet for insert shots. And that came to the shop on one Friday.
What was that like?
Well, we were having Friday beers. And after about 6 o'clock, everyone got a chance to just run ET's face through its motions, which was spectacular. But the ship came in and I can't remember. I think the original painter of this ship might have been Mike Fulmer. And if I remember the story correctly, they reached out to him and said, "How did you paint the ship?" And he said, "Pay me to come on down and I'll paint it," which is absolutely the right response. Because if I remember correctly, the original paint job that I remember engaging with and seeing was hand rubbed, metallic powders into lacquer.
Yeah, well, there was no chrome paint. It didn't exist.
Right, and it was a highly reflective coating that had a real scale to it because those powders were rubbed in and they almost tarnished naturally.
So you get that 1,000-mile depth.
There's something about that kind of, it's sort of like a French polish, right? It's got that super depth to it. And it's nothing but labor gets you that finish. And it was hours and hours and hours to do. This is a really nice approximation of that paint job.
Well, we had to try and we're trying to emulate the original model, but also the special edition model. The people are we see it so much more.
Right,
it's highly reflective. That's an entirely digital model at that point. So you've got to have something, and everyone's like, chrome. but it isn't chrome. It's not clean. It clearly has water staining, and it's been through space.
Right, it's been through a gravity well, through an atmosphere.
Exactly, and it was when I started to look at the model, some of the textures they used on the landing bells underneath. It's a really weird melange of super high-tech egg and then almost like hand-carved rock.
Oh, look at the hieroglyphs there.
They're not Obrecht, because I was convinced. I sat there and I got the official Obrecht dictionary. I was like, is there a hidden message?
Obrecht didn't exist when they were doing this.
But whoever designed it, note that they're really similar. I'm guessing there was some,
The texturing on your lights is really, really beautiful.
I never noticed them until you see them. And of course, the thing that we see most in ET is the full-sized set piece that they built that was from here on up.
The bottom,
so you do see that.
Yes, you're right.
And they built it one-to-one, the ramp.
Right.
And those sections show so much more. There is no ramp on the filming model. We never see it.
Right.
So we've tried to incorporate all of those elements, the filming model, the physical set pieces and everything into what is such an iconic Ralph McQuarrie original design, apparently inspired by Spielberg. The story is that he gave Ralph the cues.
Yeah.
And there was some argument about a Christmas ornament, and the original design was, oh no, that's too much like a Christmas ornament, a Victorian Christmas ornament specifically.
Oh,
Who
fair.
knew?
Okay.
I mean, it just, the more you look at it, the more you see, and it was really hard to copy because there is only the one at roughly this scale, and there's a much bigger one that's physically probably about twice the size.
Oh my goodness!
But we tried to come up with something that was collectionable for most people.
Were you able to come across studio blueprints or anything like that?
Yes, Charlie Bailey's blueprints were really useful, specifically for the ramp, and because there's detail on that ramp that you couldn't see in any other way. It was just not there.
I can't even tell you, I'm itching to paint this. Like there's part of me that just wants to spend like 5 weeks painting
the model
this.
maker, Chris, who built these, this is somewhat unique. We've done this as a special project. There are only 10 of these, nine now, because we've sold one.
Right.
And they're all made together. They were all done at the same time. And
that makes sense. This is a completely unforgiving paint.
Was horrific.
I can only imagine, because you get any panelization, any panel separation that's not dead nuts perfect. And you have to toss it out.
Yeah, and atmospherics. You've got to do it at the right temperature, the right humidity, and there will only be 10 because I have politely asked, could they do another? And the reply was a firm no.
It's not worth it.
No.
Hilarious.
And you've got differentiation too. Masking it off, chrome is a nightmare for that.
Like I said,
there's multiple colors and tones. You've got the water staining, which is exactly what it looks like. It was done with water and built up to stain it, to look like, I'm guessing, condensation that ran down. And they're all different. Every single one is slightly unique.
Amazing. This is one of those ships that I ended up building my own Blade Runner blip because it would never become available. This is one of those models I thought, I'm never going to see one of these.
It gets passed
in a
over
studio scale.
For its iconicness, and everybody remembers it. Even people who are passing fans, you mentioned the ET ship, they go, oh, the one that looks like the egg. Everybody knows it, but it's weird that it's been passed over. There have been a couple of toys that don't even look even close, but there was never a model kit, nothing.
It's also, since we're talking about early 80s Spielberg, I'm going to go to late 80s Spielberg and say it also has some connections design-wise to Batteries Not Included.
Now you say it,
right?
Now I see it.
There's a little bit of playfulness in there in Steven Spielberg's idea of alien technology.
Coming back to my stupid comment about the family car, do you think that it doesn't look threatening?
Right, that's
somehow
the thing about it. It's
friendly
playful.
and home, and playful. Maybe that was, and same with the droids or the robots in Batteries Not Included. Now you say it, these specifically, and they come out very, very similar, and they're magnetically attached. But I'm almost certain.
Oh no way!
Almost certain that that's the same, very similar design for sure.
There's some connection. Oh, dude.
And they do all light up underneath, which is there you go, you got it. It's a work of art. Chris did an amazing job, and like I said, we're proud to be able to offer them. 9 left.
And then there were 9.
And then there were 9.
I really, really love that you guys are venturing into this size of replica. I know that it is not easy. I know that it is the farthest thing from simple. And it's a real great gift to the community that you're making these available. They're just gorgeous.
It's a great gift to us to be able to do it as well. Because we're not doing this for the financial, really and truly, it doesn't really make any sense. The wooden crates these things come in are a nightmare to ship. Everything is difficult, but you just got to do it because, again, it pays homage to this art. I mean, the only people who've seen this outside of ILM are Spielberg, and I believe it was on tour at some point in its history to a few museums, but now you'll only see it if you go to the Amblin offices, if you can get to see it. It used to be in the Logia. They had it on display for many, many years, but now it was hard to get access to the model to make this.
I'll bet.
So yeah, these will be lost and forgotten, sadly, I think, without support. I'm
going to start to get some plastic spheres and think about making myself one.
Do it. I mean, this program exists for people who, if you've got the talent, and we've always said this, I equate this to like building a classic car.
It's exactly the same.
You and I could build a classic car in our garage and it would be awesome, but it wouldn't be a Ferrari or an Aston Martin. They're two different things. This is for the people who can't wrench and don't want to build it. They want to buy a museum quality piece that they can keep in a collection as a piece of art. And it's not meant to replace the work of model. I'd love to see, hopefully we start a renaissance for model makers, that a whole bunch of people build this, and I'd love to see their pictures.
Hear from your mouth. Barry, this is so exciting. Both of these ships, I'm delighted to have been able to witness them here in the cave, man.
I'm just pleased to see your reaction to it. And for someone who worked on a version of it, that's something else.
Again, I didn't work on a version of this. It just happened to be there as I was working.
Tangentially associated.
Yes.
Because sadly, most of those guys are, they're either left us already or are leaving us. And once they're gone, we will lose all of that knowledge and talent and skill that built these things that probably, sadly, will never, ever happen again.
Oh, here's hoping that's not totally the case.
I hope not.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we have some excellent merch. We have a 5-pack of demerit badges for sale right now at tested/store.com. We've got the I hung it off of level demerit badge, the I built the chair backwards demerit badge, the I hit my thumb with a hammer demerit badge. We've got the stapler in my finger demerit badge, and my favorite, I stuck the duct tape to itself demerit badge. Get yours now, tested/store.store, tested-store. Tested. It's right here. There. Just click there.